metal trays. Lunch rush. Boots stomping on scarred linoleum, chairs scraping, voices stacking on top of each other, stories about weekend plans, bad PT, worse officers. The smell of overcooked eggs, burnt coffee, and industrial chili hung in the air. No one noticed the new arrival at first. Riley Hart stepped through the double doors with a plain metal tray in her hands. 5 feet 3 inches, lean, brown hair braided tight and tucked away. Her uniform was squared away but unremarkable. No combat patches, no ribbons that screamed somebody. Her name tape read Hart. Her MLS tag read Logistics. Perfect. Forgettable. She moved with quiet precision, cutting through the organized chaos of the line. Not shoving, not pushing, just sliding into a space left open near the front where a distracted private had stepped out to grab extra napkins. That was all it took. Hey, a voice snapped from somewhere behind her. Where the hell do you think you're going, short stack? A couple Marines snickered. Riley didn't react. She took her tray, added a scoop of questionable mashed potatoes, and started toward an empty table near the back. That was when Staff Sergeant Dax Rowan saw her. Rowan was the kind of man the younger Marines both feared and imitated. 6 feet 1 inch, built like a door frame, sleeves tight around his biceps, jaw permanently clenched. His reputation was simple. He corrected with his hands, not his words. He stepped into her path, boots planted. "You just cut my Marines in line, Logistics," he said, voice loud enough for half the hall to hear. "You think that job makes you special?" Riley stopped, calm, tray steady in her hands. She looked up at him, not defiant, not scared, just measuring. She didn't answer. He didn't like that. Rowan slapped the underside of her tray with one heavy hand. Food exploded across her uniform and the floor, mashed potatoes, green beans, whatever passed for meatloaf today. A few Marines laughed outright. Others went quiet, watching. Riley's fingers tightened just enough to keep hold of the tray. She glanced down at the mess, then back up at Rowan, expression unreadable. Somewhere off to the side, a lance corporal muttered, "Damn, Sarge." As she shifted the tray in her grip, her sleeve rode up 1/2 inch. A private frowned. "Wait, what is that?" Just below her wrist, half hidden by fabric, a silver mark was inked against her skin. Not a typical tattoo. No anchor, no slogan, no date. It looked like part of a symbol, a stylized trident tip or blade. Sharp, clean, metallic, wrong on a logistics specialist. The private nudged his buddy. "You see that? That's not standard." Rowan followed their gaze, saw the glint of silver, and his irritation flared into something uglier. "Oh, you one of those, huh?" he sneered. "Think you're too important to stand in line like everyone else." He stepped in closer. Hale said, voice like cold steel, "You have failed almost every evaluation." Rowan's mouth opened and closed like he was drowning. "Ma'am, I didn't know. I thought you were." His voice cracked. Fear finally replaced arrogance. Riley didn't raise her voice. She didn't step toward him. She didn't even look angry. She simply met his eyes and said, "Strength is not earned by hitting someone smaller. It's earned by protecting someone weaker." The words hit harder than any strike she could have delivered. Rowan's shoulders sagged as if someone had pulled the bones out of him. "Lieutenant Commander Hart," he stammered. "Please, I made a mistake. I didn't know." Riley lifted one hand. He fell silent instantly. "You didn't need to know who I was," she said quietly. "You only needed to know what was right." Commander Hale nodded to the MPs. "Sergeant Rowan, you are hereby detained for assaulting a superior officer, obstruction of an undercover evaluation, and conduct prejudicial to good order and discipline." 2 MPs stepped forward, snapping restraints around his wrists. Rowan didn't resist. He couldn't. The fight was gone. His boots scraped helplessly against the mess hall floor as they pulled him away. The Marines who had been laughing earlier now watched in horrified silence. Some swallowed hard. Some looked at the ground. A few stared at Riley as if she were something out of legend, a ghost, a myth, a warning. Riley pulled a secure, military-grade tablet from her cargo pocket. Its black casing had no markings. She powered it on with a biometric scan. Her voice was calm, clinical. Shadow Unit Incident Report. Mess Hall. Assessment parameters met. Primary subject failed integrity and threat response criteria. Secondary subjects pending evaluation. Every Marine felt the weight of those words. She didn't yell. She didn't humiliate anyone. She simply recorded the truth, and the truth was devastating. Then she closed the tablet, clipped it to her belt, and walked forward as the room instinctively parted for her. No one dared to breathe until she was gone. The mess hall was still trembling in the aftermath when Riley finally turned back toward the formation of Marines. No alarms now. No shouting. Just the heavy, suffocating weight of realization. She stepped forward, calm, composed, nothing about her posture aggressive, and yet every Marine straightened as if gravity itself demanded respect. "You want to understand what you saw today?" she asked quietly. No one answered. They didn't need to. Riley clasped her hands behind her back, her voice level and controlled. The voice of someone who had delivered far worse news in far harsher places. "Shadow Unit operatives," she began, "are selected after missions no one should survive." A murmur rippled across the room, disbelief mixed with fear. "We are declared dead to the public," she continued. "To friends, to families, to the service records that follow us." A few Marines lifted their heads at that, eyes widening. Even seasoned NCOs looked shaken. "We operate alone," she said. "No team, no backup, no extraction plan unless command believes we've earned it." She paused, letting the reality sink deep into them. Our existence is never acknowledged. Our missions are never recorded. Our successes are never celebrated. Her gaze swept over the faces in front of her, lingering on those who had laughed at her the moment she walked in. "That's why silence is our weapon," she said softly. "And why underestimating someone because they don't speak is a dangerous mistake." A few Marines lowered their eyes, shame burning hotter than fear. Riley didn't smirk, didn't gloat. She simply finished with, "Quiet warriors fight the hardest battles. Never mistake silence for weakness." A new kind of silence spread through the room, not mocking, not smug. Respectful, awed, humbled. The kind of silence warriors keep when they've just learned a truth they'll never forget. The mess hall slowly faded behind her, its doors swinging shut on the echoes of everything